What's happening, everybody? Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter, and we are just a few days away from Christmas. Everyone out there is absolutely insane with their shopping and their driving, so to bring a little semblance of calmness and rationality back into your life, here is week 16 of my weekly NFL pick show for the 2012-2013 NFL season. Week 15 has come and gone. My record was only okay, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I've decided for the last couple of weeks here to really try to lift my spirits and get me really pulling my momentum in the right direction for the playoffs. I'm going to be a little bit more like Gio DeFranco, my dear friend, every week. This week, I'm starting by drinking a beer on my football pick show. So we rock a little Bud Light Lime, and here we go. Wanted to start off, of course, like we did last week, by talking about really the only thing that matters in the NFL right now, which is who is going to make the playoffs. And I've got the division standings right up here in front of me on my computer. Start with the AFC like we did last week. Of course, Patriots have clinched at 10-4. They've clinched the AFC East. Houston has clinched the AFC South at 12-2. Denver has clinched the AFC West at 11-3. And Baltimore has clinched a playoff spot. They've clinched at least a wild card, currently sitting at 9-5. Now, with 2 games remaining, Cincinnati in that division is only 1 game back of Baltimore at 8-6. And Pittsburgh is still in it in that division as well, sitting at 7-7. And I believe if they won their last 2 games, Baltimore lost their last 2 games. If they were both 9-7, I believe Pittsburgh holds the tiebreaker. So they're technically still alive in that division as well. You take a look at the wild card race. Like I said, Baltimore hasn't clinched their division, but they've at least clinched a playoff spot. So if Baltimore doesn't win their division, that's one of the wild card spots gone right there. If Baltimore does win the division, then both wildcard spots are wide open. Probably a pretty safe bet to say the Colts at 9-5 are going to grab one of those 2 wildcard spots. At that point, it's left up to the Bengals and the Steelers. Essentially, it should be that. I mean, Cincy could lose their last 2 games, finish the season 8-8. I believe they hold the tiebreaker on Pittsburgh. So as long as either the Jets or the Dolphins don't win out and get up to that 8-8 spot too, that would be a wild card spot for the Bengals. I still think the Colts and the Bengals are the 2 teams that really have the inside track, which could make for some very, very interesting first round matchups. We'll go down and we'll take a look at the NFC. Now 2 teams in the NFC have clinched. The Atlanta Falcons have clinched the NFC South, as well as the Green Bay Packers, who have now clinched the NFC North due to the absolute free fall of the Chicago Bears, who have lost 3 in a row and have only won once in their last 5 games. The NFC West is one of the 2 divisions in the NFC that are tremendously interesting right now. St. Louis, of course, lost their game. That officially eliminates them from any real conversation, whether it be wild card or anything else. But that division remains interesting because of the Seattle Seahawks, winners of 3 in a row, an identical record to the 49ers in their last 5 games of 4-1. This week's matchup between Seattle and San Francisco, I had to double check and make sure, is probably the marquee matchup of the NFL this week, and I believe game is in Seattle. This is going to be head and shoulders the best game of the week. So we have, again, so the NFC West is very interesting. Go to the NFC East. Does anybody want to win this division besides really the Redskins? Now, granted, the Cowboys have won 4 of their last 5. They've won 3 in a row, but the Skins have won 5 straight games since they were sitting at 3-6. That team has proven that it has 2 quarterbacks who can win games, those being, of course, RG3 and Kirk Cousins, who has played very admirably. All 3 of these teams, the Redskins, the Cowboys, and the Giants, all sit at 8-6. My worry about the Cowboys is I don't know that the Cowboys' defense is going to be good enough to stick with the high-powered offenses that they've got in the division and on the rest of their schedule. I just want to take a quick peek at the rest of Dallas's schedule because I believe, like I said, they play New Orleans this week and then they end the season in Washington. So I don't know that their defense can keep up with that. If we, just for the sake of argument, if we eliminate the Cowboys for a second, we come down to the Redskins and the Giants. The Skins hold the tiebreak there. The Skins are in Philly this week, and then they host Dallas to end the season. That's 2 winnable division games. The Giants do not play in this division this week. They're at Baltimore, which I think might be a trap game, even though Baltimore's not playing all that well, and then end the season by hosting Philly. Everything here points to the Redskins to win this division. I think I gotta pick the Redskins to win the division, but the last 2 weeks in the NFC East is going to be extremely exciting football to watch. We're going to take a peek at the NFC wildcard standings as they are right now. You've got the Seahawks sitting at 9-5. The Seahawks are probably going to be one of those 2 teams out of the West. Whoever doesn't win the West is getting one of those wildcard spots. That's one of the wildcard spots gone right there. So you're looking at all of these teams in that roadblock there at 8-6. We're talking Chicago, Minnesota, New York, Dallas, and Washington. It's whoever doesn't, the 2 teams that don't win the NFC East, and then those 2 teams there in the NFC North. You can make an argument that all 4 of these teams are playoff teams, and there's going to be 3 of them in all likelihood that are going to be very, very disappointed at the end of the season. No questions for you this week. I think you would know the questions that I basically ask. Who do you think is going to get the wild card spots? Who do you think is going to get the bye weeks? Keep giving me your answers to that in the comment section below. We're going to move straight to my platinum, gold, silver, and bronze picks from last week to see how they did. We're going to start at the top with the platinum pick. I had Cincinnati defeating Philadelphia, and in a game with 2 teams that have a history, I suppose, either this year or in the last couple years of kind of having, fumbleitis and kind of being bumbling teams. This looked like it was going to be a stalemate of futility for a little while until Cincinnati really started to take over. Bengals win that game 34-13, gives me my platinum pick. My gold pick was the Chicago Bears to upset the Green Bay Packers in Soldier Field at home. Didn't work out that way. The Packers did show up. 3 touchdown passes by Aaron Rodgers leads Green Bay to a 21-13 win over division rival Chicago to lock up the NFC North. My silver pick was the Denver Broncos to beat the Baltimore Ravens. Of course, Denver, with that offense, picked on a hurting and underperforming Ravens defense. Denver doubled them up 34-17, so I got my silver pick there. My bronze pick was something of an upset, something not. It was really one of those coin flip games. I had New England to beat San Francisco in New England. Unfortunately, the coin flip did not go my way. San Fran wins that game 41-34 in what was a very exciting and fun to watch game. So I was 2-2 on my lock picks this week. My platinum, gold, silver, and bronze leaves me with a still very respectable record of 46-14 for those picks for the season. Taking a look at the rest of my picks and the private and public pick'ems, how everything that I did in week 15. My picks kept going in the right direction in the sense that I didn't go backwards. I wasn't under 500, but I was over 500, but just barely. My picks for week 15 went 9-7, and my correct and incorrect is going to be right there for you. On the season, I am 137, 86, and 1 with the tie, having me sitting in the 79th percentile on Yahoo. We take a look at the private pick'em. I remain in 3rd place out of 11 with 1,154 out of 1,793 possible confidence points, a clip of 64%. Now in week 15, I was only able to rake in 72 of 136 confidence points. It's only a clip of 53%, and with how some of the other people did in the league this week, it was definitely not enough to keep pace. Shout out to our Week 15 winner, second time I've shouted him out this year, Mega Awesome 1121. Really destroyed Week 15, 13-3, 119 of 136 possible confidence points, a clip of 88%. Tom Mullins still leads the pack, 146, 77, and 1, 1,230 of 1,793 confidence points, a clip of 69%. Tom virtually doubled his lead on me this week, and really it's really a 2-horse race there between Tom and Marching On Together Leads, I believe, is in the 2nd place. Now let's take a look at my lock picks, my platinum, gold, silver, and bronze for week 16. And after last week when I kind of tried to toughen things up a little bit, take the more exciting games this week and try to make picks on them, you know what? Fuck it. I'm trying to win a league. I'm going back to the tried, tested, and true method of picking the 4 games that I feel most confident about. If you don't like it, my apologies, but that's the way it's going to go for the rest of the season, because I got a league to win, bitches. All right, bronze pick, the Green Bay Packers playing at home against the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Packers have clinched their division. They know they're getting a playoff spot. They know they're getting, in all likelihood, a home playoff game. Green Bay may not feel like they have quite as much pressure sort of going into these last couple of games this week. That being said, it's the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee has one weapon and one weapon only. That weapon is CJ Tulane. I don't see Chris Johnson running all over Green Bay here. I know Green Bay is going to want to put 2 very solid performances together heading into the playoffs to keep momentum. Green Bay is a team that has come together so much since the early to mid part of the season that they are legitimate Super Bowl contenders now. Green Bay is a threat in the NFC, and I picked them to display that this week. I will take the Green Bay Packers to whoop the Tennessee Titans in their home field for my bronze pick. Silver pick, the Detroit Lions playing at home against the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta, another team who has clinched, maybe doesn't have quite as much that they need to prove here in the last couple of games, but Atlanta is a team that's not very banged up. They're not exactly injury riddled. They've kept the majority of their team, certainly the nucleus of the team, healthy all season. And honestly, I think they're just too good of a team to lose to even the best that Detroit would have to offer, which is, of course, Stafford to Megatron all day, every day. I haven't seen enough out of Detroit. Detroit has been a constant disappointment to me all season. Honestly, I think, even though it's on the road, and Atlanta is definitely a front runner when they play at home, to me, this is just Atlanta all day. So I'll take the Falcons on the road to beat Detroit for my silver pick. My gold pick, the Denver Broncos playing at home against the lowly Cleveland Browns. Cleveland is another team that's got really, well, technically 2 weapons, because they've certainly got a weapon in the return game there with, I believe it's still Joshua Cribbs, but really it's a team with 1 weapon, and it's Trent Richardson. You turn around and you look at Denver. Denver is a team full of weapons, and I don't think they're going to take their foot off the pedal. They might start resting players in Week 17, maybe. Broncos roll, beat the Browns for my gold pick in Denver's house. And the platinum pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars playing at home against the New England Patriots. I don't need to tell you anything about this. New England has to be pissed off that they lost their game last week to San Fran in prime time in New England. They're going to go down to Florida, and they're going to enjoy a restaurant-quality ass-whooping of the Jacksonville Jaguars. New England could potentially put up 50 points this week. It wouldn't shock me. New England, a lot. Jacksonville, not enough for my platinum pick. Now let's take a look at the rest of my Week 16 picks. National Football League. 16 and 17 is all we've got left until the end of the season. Playoffs are coming. I cannot wait. I'm going to be doing playoff prediction videos. Here are the picks. That's the Week 16 show for you folks, and from the bottom of my heart, I want to wish everyone out there a Merry Christmas, a Kwasi Kwanzaa, a Tip-Top Tet, a solemn dignified Ramadan, or whatever you happen to celebrate around this time of year. A happy Festivus to Mr. and Mrs. Costanza. Me, I've been having a great time for the holidays. I work a little bit over the holidays, but it's going to be a very fun atmosphere. I just had a birthday go by yesterday, December 19th. 28 years young, thank you very much. Main present was basically a gift to myself of a new cell phone. Want to hear comments, hate and love? Of course, want to hear it in the comment section below. Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter. Have a great and safe holiday season, everybody. I will see you for Week 17, and the playoffs are only a few weeks away.